Did the government of Japan need to be reinvented? The Japanese government suffered from systemic problems. The Liberal Democratic Party, the LDP, had been in power from 1965 until 2009, 44 years. A kind of clientelism had developed. The rice paddy was ruling the city because the farm vote was so disproportionately represented. Prime ministers had been coming in and out like a revolving door. No progress on economic recovery had been attained. In '96, a reorganization of the electoral system had been begun, but by 3/11 it was difficult to say whether or not it was going to be a success. The Democratic Party was not really up to the challenge of 3/11. It could not overcome the entrenched bureaucracy. Tokyo Electric Power Company. Competing political leaders jockeyed for power despite the change of party, and a cozy relationship existed between the Keiretsu and the METI, that is the Nuclear Regulatory Agency, of the so-called descent from heaven employment practices. We might call them golden parachutes. The JPD did try to increase the role of women in the economy to deal with the demographic bomb shell that was coming, allowing for more liberal family leave and parenting stipend. When the costs of the earthquake, tsunami, and Fukushima Daiichi accident were estimated to be 13 trillion yen, they reneged on promises of guaranteed stipends to families. Tom will later discuss the issues of female employment and status. After the disaster at Fukushima Daiichi, all of the functioning nuclear power plants had been shut down for routine maintenance, and none of the local governments would allow them to be restarted. A deal was made to put Japan on the path to renewable resources. The LDP, the DPJ successor, promised a resurrection of the doom. After the heyday of high economic growth, the bubble burst. Japanese corporations invested in sketchy projects resulting in bad debt that the government has had to finance. The Keiretsu has begun to cut back on compensation for loyal workers. The so-called salarymen are a vanishing phenomenon. And yet this also inhibits the advancement of younger workers and of women. Facing bottom-line issues, they have increasingly exported manufacturing jobs and contributed to unstable levels of unemployment. This might be an opportunity. The decline in real estate values might increase the opportunities for middle-class home ownership and multi-generational developments. There is no obvious solution to the demographic problem. Confronted with the possibility of reduced world demand, increased competition from other Asian nations, businesses did not find it possible to weather another energy or oil shock. The question is, can Japan develop an economically viable sustainable energy program? Its advantages are obvious. All efforts to this point have failed.